Hello, welcome to week 5 of The Planet. You're halfway through, and you guys, I gotta say, I'm really impressed at the job that you're doing. You, in spite of the challenges that we're all running into, you guys are all pursuing some really interesting stories, and you're making a lot of progress on them. And I think you should really give yourself a pat on the back. So I guess, first of all, just thank you. I know these are challenging times. So right now, you've turned in your first draft. You've also started to tackle the Twitter assignment, and the tweets that I saw you doing last week were terrific, spot on, so keep up that work. With the first drafts, you should now be starting to get a focus and starting to get a grasp of what your story is really about. It doesn't mean you necessarily have the perfect story already. And so don't freak out if that's not happening. You have to continue reporting, and that's really what's going to bring your story together. But you should be starting to see it coming into focus. So this coming week, the main thing that we are going to be doing, there's really two things. First of all, we are going to hold individual story conferences. And in those story conferences, you are going to be meeting with your main editor, the editor-in-chief, the science editor, and me. So we're going to be doing that by Zoom. You should have already checked the appointment schedule to make sure that your scheduled time works. If you haven't done that yet, please do it right away. And if the time doesn't work, alert your editor right away. And otherwise, we expect to see you there. Those appointments last for about 15 or 20 minutes. And during that session, we will talk about your first draft, and we will talk about what you need in order to advance to a successful final story. So we're going to talk about things like questions you have about reporting, questions you have about where your story might be headed, what the focus of your story is really going to be. We do these story conferences each quarter after the first draft, and I've got to say they're some of the most productive conversations that we have. So I'm really looking forward to having those for you. After we have finished that, you should come out with a pretty clear picture of what you're going to be doing for the next 2 weeks. Your second draft is due 2 weeks after the first draft. And so after the conversation in the story conference, I really want you to put together a plan that you're going to follow for having a successful second draft. And at the end of the week, you're going to be completing a small version of that plan and turning it in as a discussion question so that the editors and I can take a look at it and make sure that we're all on the same page and make sure that you have a really clear and doable plan going forward for the final week before the second draft is due. Again, you'll also be doing your Twitter assignment this week. And then, throughout all of it, like I've said, reporting. And that's what you're going to keep doing. You're going to keep tracking down interviews. You're going to keep tracking down the documents you really need for a successful story. It's possible that the focus of your story is going to change a bit as you keep reporting. That is totally natural. That happens to me and reporters all the time. The more you learn, the more you figure out really where your story is going. And it might be going in a different direction than it was headed when you first started out. All right, well, again, thank you for all your terrific work so far this quarter, and I look forward to working with you more for the rest of the quarter. Happy halfway through the quarter. Bye.